touch. You got the touch.
This is Stan Bush, and this epic video from Optibotimus truly has the touch.
Thanks for tuning in. This is Optibotimus coming with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Prime Beast Hunters Deluxe class, Bulkhead. Now, I've said for a long time that, honestly, when I look at this really does kind of remind me of Rhinox from Beast Wars. And really, that only kind of comes across because of the overall look here, I guess, in terms of the face general area. The color kind of goes along with it as well, or Roadbuster people have also said. But for me, it's more like Rhinox. You come around here on the back, you got the characters from Transformers Prime, the Autobot ones from Season 1 and Season 2. You got his armored truck mode, you got his robot mode. You come up to the top and it says, this big Autobot bruiser has enough strength to bust up entire Predacon armies. And it has a spinning dragon grinder, and obviously the weapon attaches to both vehicle and robot mode. Now, and then you got the other figures. You got Starscream, you got Ripclaw, and you have Smokescreen that are currently in this wave. You got his tech specs, obviously strength of 10. I mean, that just makes sense. Endurance of 9, and then of course a speed of 4 because he's really big. But it just, a lot of these new deluxe figures are having a very Beast Wars look and feel. This guy, like I said, really does give me a Rhinox feel. The upcoming deluxe class Ratchet absolutely looks like the Beast Wars Dinobot. So I really kind of like what they're doing here, and it's part of the reason why I don't think a lot of these characters are actually going to end up looking like this in the show. I think a lot of these are just homages to them. But really very cool. I can already see that one thing that I'm not going to like is his arms. I don't think his wrists can rotate. It doesn't look like it can, and that's gonna keep his arms going like ooga 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 on the inside. I know I'm not gonna like that. I'm gonna want to have the arm rotated so the elbow's pointing kind of outward, and that's just gonna be wrong with the hand. But we'll see. Whatever. There's the packaging though. A lot of people are kind of on the fence about getting Bulkhead in terms of a deluxe figure, so let's see. Let's get him open and see how cool, though, he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Bulkhead open up and out of its packaging. And before I even get to the toy, we're gonna do the Tales of the Beast Hunters, because I didn't do it in my Ripclaw video. And despite the fact that I put an annotation to tell people to read the video description because I did put it there, I still get yelled at because I forgot to do it. So, I'm gonna do it. As you can see, you got a nice image of Bulkhead here. You come down to his dragon grinder, and it says, Diamondium saw blade spins fast enough to superheat the air near its surface. Super hot vortex near blade can be used to block incoming laser fire, as well as damage enemies. Specifically designed to quickly cut through dragon armor, which makes it sound like it's very tough. And then the little read-up that we have says, Bulkhead can't deny that the new weapons brought back to base by Bumblebee are pretty cool, but no one can figure out how to activate them. Autobot Ratchet is working on it in his lab, but Bulkhead would rather smash stuff than study. So he's been out in the middle of the desert for hours trying to get the thing to work. He's just about to give up when Ripclaw plunges out of the sky and smashes into him. Before Bulkhead can react, the unknown dragon's tail claw grips his chest and rips away a chunk of his armor. Even as the big Autobot pounds his beastly opponent, giving as good as it gets, he feels the poisonous heat of the dragon's mech venom searing his circuitry. Ooh, so maybe that's why Bulkhead looks a little bit different here, and who knows? And as you can see, it continues with Chapter 10, which is Deluxe Class Smokescreen, which we'll get to eventually. As for the figure, he is a funky, there's a lot of colors going on with him. First of all, this is his dragon blaster thingamajigger, and I love the fact that it's got like this little dragon face on here. That's really very cool. It's just the blade, it doesn't impress me all that much. Like if you do it and let go, it kind of stops. You gotta hold it down and it spins. It's okay. It's not overly impressive, but you can plug it in on the side here, which you really can't even do that very well, because as you can see, when you bring it down, it rubs into this kind of stuff. So the best place for it, oops, stay down there, is really the top, and I just think that that's goofy looking. So he's a deluxe version of himself, and like I said, there's a lot of colors going on here. You got green, you got the gray, you got this color gold, you got blue, you got translucent blue, you got this orange bit right here. This orange is different than this orange, and then you got the swirling kind of marbleization. One thing that I do want to mention, I was looking at the top section here, zooming in so you can see it. I really thought that this hinge on the side, just kind of lift this up, I thought that this was getting a stress mark on it because that's what we're looking at there. I thought it was a stress mark, but if you notice, the green has all this other swirly stuff, so my guess is that's just part of the swirly plastic. I've seen that on a couple other people's figures as well. Balt Matrix mentioned that, and he was talking about how it's fragile and it looks like it's stressing and stuff. I don't think it's actually a stress mark. I just think it's part of the swirly gimmick, and you can see a little bit of it here on the side, a lot of it right there, and then obviously you got some green swirly bits right in here. I just honestly don't think that that's an issue at all. I feel like these are very secure joints, and I don't think that's a stress mark really. And then you got some kind of copperish color here. He's silver. I mean, there's a lot of colors on this. It's a lot of, I don't know, it's weird. It's a lot. Now, this is an obvious homage to Roadbuster, just based on the coloring of them. But as I said in other videos, the guy really does remind me of Rhinox from the Beast Wars. It's fairly cool looking. One minor complaint would be these wheels sometimes will bend inward like so, but honestly, it's not that big of a deal. I love the treads on here. Some really nice detail on here. I mean, this is a heavy-duty all-terrain vehicle, and it's really very cool. As I said, the gun can peg here and here. Biggest problem would be obviously visible hand syndrome right down there. It's not attractive. I don't like it. I do wish there was a way it could fold up a little bit better, but what are you gonna do, I guess. Now, first transformation, just come around here to the side, lift these bits, and turn him into flying bulkhead mode. Then come around here to these legs, separate these, rotate these down and around. Like so. Very stiff joints here at the knee, but these joints right up here are very flimsy and very loose. I mean, these are very, very floppy. Now, you could fix it, just all you have to do is really kind of, well, actually, does that even come out? That's probably going to be hard to come out. I don't think it's going to separate or break or anything, but it's just an annoyance, I suppose. Fold this little bit down, fold this little bit down, and here you have his legs pretty much situated and done. Then just straighten that all out. Take these arms, bring these down, angle up so you can actually see what I'm doing. Then take this, separate this bit, fold this little bit up. I mean, it was down like so, right? So now you're folding it up like so. Bring this spine piece in on itself. Bring this up, take these little wheels, they angle in just slightly, not a lot, but a little bit. Bring the arms down, bring this section down. You have exposed his head here now. Rotate these arms down and around, fold that out, bring these down, and around like so. Kind of take these little bits here, and they just kind of hang out there. Take this section here, fold these out, and then bring this down just like so, and keep this kind of positioned up here. And here you have him in his robot mode. Where to begin with this little guy? I guess we'll zoom in here so that you can see what's going on. Now, this is really kind of where the whole Rhinox look, at least for me, comes from. If you remember in the show, he kind of had like this stuff kind of in the back. His rhino head was kind of on the back, kind of giving him a behind the head kind of look, which this really kind of does for me. And then just something about this just really does strike me as like a Rhinox. Like this bit right here looks like his chest piece in robot mode, which is the bottom section of his mouth. It's just me. His head, as you can see, is a really cool looking head sculpt. Some people have likened it to kind of Bulkhead meets Grimlock, I guess, and I guess that's kind of accurate. But overall, really nice detail. I do like it. You got a really huge Autobot logo here. You got a lot more of this swirly paint in the arms that you can really kind of see, and then the legs just come down in bits. I mean, really about it. You got this big giant. People have said that he's a transforming Ninja Turtle, and it kind of looks like it. I mean, he's got like this big shell thing here on his back, but it doesn't look too bad, I don't think. He's overall a good-looking figure. It's just he just really kind of sets me off, I guess. There's a lot of really good things about him. I love all the colors in here, all the various colors. It's like they blew their entire paint budget on this guy, and that's really cool. I mean, look at this. I mean, you got some blue detail right in here, which you don't need to have that. I mean, because the only real blue, I mean, beside the window, I mean, you got some like little blue streaks here, and then like little blue bits right there. I mean, you could have just left it green, just like the other side, but no, they painted that side, which is fantastic. I love that, and this always kind of comes down. I mean, so there's a lot of really nice painted detail in here. Now, he's a very small figure. I mean, for size comparison, here he is, and here he is next to the first edition Bulkhead. And yes, this is a Voyager figure, so naturally he's going to be a lot bigger, but you can see that, for me, this guy really does become a basically different character with his whole different look. And that's why a lot of people really could look at this. More people, I would say, than not see him as a Roadbuster. I personally see him as like a Rhinox. But you could have him as being a totally different character. Now, for Deluxe comparison, here he is next to the RID Wheeljack. And you can see that, again, Deluxe-wise, he is in a pretty good scale with the rest of the Deluxe figures. And then with his accessory, you got the Dragon Blaster thing that now you can actually come around here to the arms. You can peg it there on the side. You can probably have them actually hold it as well. Yeah, you can have them hold it if you are so inclined, or I guess now you can actually put these this dragon thing here on the little wing bits, and you can have that look going for you. I mean, it really just kind of depends entirely on what you want to do with them, or where you want to display his weapon, I guess, but there's that. Now for his articulation, his head is on a ball joint, but it's really tough to get to if you have that down. If you lift it up, you can really kind of pose it any way you want. And again, wonderful detail on this head. I love the actual light piping. I don't know how well I'll be able to show this off, but here's my little flashlight dealie. Kind of get that right there. I mean, you can see real good light piping on that. It's really quite impressive, and that doesn't fold back anymore, so you do have to kind of leave it down like so. So that's what's going on with his head. The shoulders here are on ball joints. They move any way that you want. They also rotate as kind of part of the transformation. At the upper part of the bicep, they bend at the elbow. Now this is where I really don't like the design of it. I absolutely despise it when you cannot, when they're constantly in this bicep curling pose. I hate that on a figure. It's one of my biggest nitpicks, I suppose, and I just think it makes the figure look really ugly when they have to stand out like this, like, look at me. I mean, it's just, it's a huge nitpick for me. It bugs me more than anything else on any other Transformer, I think. That's my biggest flaw. If I'm being a designer, I would never do something like that. It's just insane. Nothing at the waist, but the hips here are on ball joints, and then you got the swivel joint here at the upper part of the thigh that, again, is a very loose joint, and that's not the only, this isn't the only one. I mean, I've seen this on a lot of people's figures. I don't know how you would tighten that, because you really can't get in there to apply like super glue or anything like that, so I don't know how you would fix that. Somebody had mentioned, I think it's Future Shine floor polish or something like that. You could probably dip some of that in there and then just rotate it and kind of work it in there and get it to actually kind of thicken and maybe tighten that up. That's an option, I suppose. He does bend at the knee, very tight joint there. And then his feet here are on ball joints, which it's really kind of weird because it's on the side. So you can get some kind of weird looking poses with the feet, like here where it's not down, so you have to push it down. I mean, you can do that and it makes it look better, but it can be awkward looking at sometimes if you don't have that foot thing positioned right. But overall, I do like this figure. He's unfortunately stuck with some of the biggest problems at least for me, that a Transformer can have. Specifically being the bicep curl positioning here. I just absolutely hate that, and it really kind of ruins the figure for me. The QC issues are something that hopefully is not indicative of all figures, but you can you can have him dance, I guess. And then he's just got this really, I mean, it doesn't stick out too much, it's just really kind of obvious and very much there. So while I do like this figure, again, he's not on a high priority sort of list, if you ask me. I would recommend picking him up, but I could absolutely see where people would be like, nah, I'm just gonna pass on this guy. Especially if you have a figure that's just superb, like the first edition Bulkhead. Unless you really want to have a Roadbuster in your collection, or in my case, like a Rhinox, then yeah, this is a figure that I could see a lot of people passing on, just because he's kind of a redundant figure. I mean, he looks cool, but there's no real need to have him, I don't think. Now to transform him back, just come around here to this section, lift this up, push these in on themselves just like so. Kind of fold these out, just get everything out of the way. Take this whole section, you're gonna be able to lift that up like that. Bring these arms back, and actually one of the easier thing to do would be to rotate the bicep right like so. Do that right now. It's a little bit easier than when you kind of get it in the final stage. So swivel those arms out just like so. Bring this up just like that. Detach this, kind of angle that, fold this down, and then you're going to bring this down, and you kind of have to give this a good little tug, kind of straighten out these wheels, give that a nice little, not tug, give it a nice little push, and you'll lock that all the way down. Bring this little bit, if that was down, bring that up. And I do wish that this actually kind of locked in. It really doesn't seem to lock into anything. It just kind of dangles there, I guess. But then you're going to bring these arms up. Did I actually rotate that the wrong way? Maybe it's supposed to be like that. There we go. I think it's going to be like that. So rotate that around like so. You're going to bring this up, and then this spine piece, you can see here, you got two little tabs on the inside of his forms that are going to line up with these little notches here and here. Just give that a nice little push. It sort of tabs into place, but when you're doing other things, that might actually loosen up. So don't be upset. Don't get discouraged, guys. You can do it. I have faith in you. Then bring these bring these little legs together, tab that together like so, and then you gotta, like I said, these are really stiff joints here, so rotate that all the way around. Take this, rotate these feet around, and then you're gonna have a little tiny notch right up in here that kind of fits in the feet bits right there. It doesn't really stay there too well. Just kind of sit it right there, and then make sure, if, like I said, these detached, you just straighten these out. You get those back where they belong, like so. Those aren't going to stay down there too terribly well, so don't be too alarmed. Just kind of hold it in position, then bring this section down, then lock this side bit on the side of his car. That'll hold it in a whole lot more. Do the same thing on this side. That just pegs into place. Make sure that you get the hands up. Straighten out these front tires, and here you have the deluxe class Bulkhead from Beast Hunters back in his vehicle mode. But that's about it, guys. There you have your look at the Beast Hunters deluxe class Bulkhead. If you are interested in picking him up, go ahead and click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to Big Bad Toy Store. You'll be able to pick up this guy, or you can pick up the entire wave. And I believe right now the only way that you guys can actually get Smokescreen is to buy all these figures. So honestly, my recommendation is, if you really want Smokescreen and he's a hard figure for you to find, buy the entire wave, and then whatever you don't want, sell off. That's a great way to kind of get your money back and still get the good price for buying an individual figure, because I think if you want to, like for example, wanted to buy Smokescreen, I think he's like $19.99. But if you buy him the entire 4-pack with all 4 of the second wave figures, I think it works out to be only $15 a figure. So if you want to save some cash, buy all of them. I almost guarantee you, you'll find somebody that will want to pick this guy up who can't find him somewhere. But beyond that, that's about it, guys. So until next time, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Keep in touch with me. Find out recent purchases as well as all upcoming video reviews, all at facebook.com/teambotimus, and follow me over on Twitter at twitter.com/optibotimus. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.